Today we're introducing our new range of Ocean Assassin Inchiku Jigs. Japanese fishermen have been using Inchiku Jigs as a method of fishing for many years now, and this style continues to be very successful for them. Here in New Zealand, these have become a must-have item, with many people using them exclusively. These jigs are dynamite on all fish species, especially snapper, kingfish and salmon. A new range of Inchiku Jigs come in 3 different sizes, 60, 80 and 100 grams, and in 4 different colours, blue, green, orange and pink, and we have replacement skirts for all. So onto the jig itself. The jig consists of a weighted body with an octopus skirt and 2 little assist hooks. Our jigs have 3 different attachment points, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle. It all depends on how you want the jig to perform and what species you are fishing for as to where you attach your line to. Each different attachment point gives you a different action. This is the bottom end. This will give you a tail weighted jig and will fish more straight up and down. If you're having problems getting to the bottom or through fish high in the water column, this is the best attachment point to use. The middle attachment point, this will give you a jig a fluttering action. It will take much longer to get to the bottom, but we found this is the best attachment point for fishing for the likes of tuna and salmon. So the top attachment point with the eyes, I found that for snapper and other bottom drillers, this is the most effective place to tie the jig. This gives you the best of both worlds, gives you nice fluttering action, but also the ability to get to the bottom quickly. So onto the gear that we use for these jigs. We recommend using a light sort of 60 to 120 gram jig rod and matching it with a small overhead reel. So our favoured set is a Trinidad 10 or 12 on any sort of matching jig rod that you like. You can, however, use your soft bait rod and reel, but we find that the soft bait rods are a little bit soft and a little bit harder to work the jig and a little bit harder to get hookups with. So what line to use? Generally we use 20 to 30 pound braid with 30 pound fluorocarbon foot trace line. The benefits of fishing very light tackle with these jigs are not as advantageous as having the extra stopping power and protection when you hook a bigger fish. The jig should be used while drift fishing, just like with soft plastics. Cast the head of the boat so your jig is almost vertical with your rod when it hits the bottom. So generally to attach the jig I use a basic uni knot. You don't need to do loop knots or anything like that with these jigs. Once again, just double the line, come back over it, through the loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, pull it up, make sure you wet the line because fluorocarbon can be damaged quite easily, and pull it right down and trim off the end. Now that you've finished tying your Inchiku jig onto the rod, I'll just take you through a couple of the most effective methods of how to use them. They are a little bit different to the Octi jig. You do have to work them a little bit harder, but these are the 2 methods that we've found work the best over here in New Zealand. So obviously dropping it to the bottom, keep your thumb on the spool as it goes down. You quite often get a hit on the way down or close to the bottom, so make sure you're paying attention. Alright, we're on the bottom now. So the first method is quite easy, it's just a slow wind. Generally I use probably 5 to 10 winds up. If the fish is biting, just keep winding. We've had fish hit these a couple of meters below the surface and 40 meters worth of 40 meters of water. Once you've reached 10 or so winds, drop it back down and start the process again. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Vary your speeds, vary how high you bring it off the bottom until you find the right way for the fish on the day. Okay, now the second way you can fish these lures is with a small mechanical jig. Once again, 5 to 10 winds off the bottom. That makes the lure move a little bit more, gives it a little bit more action and promotes a more aggressive bite out of snapper that aren't feeding. Both of these methods work easily, just as well as each other in different situations. So you just have to find the right way for the fish that you're trying to fish for. So now that you guys know a little bit about the jigs, we're going to try and show you how we fish them in New Zealand. We use a drifting boat like you would with soft plastics, and there's a couple of techniques that you can use that are most effective. So like soft plastics, just a little cast in front of the boat so that we drift over. So once the jig hits the bottom, keeping in contact with it all the time because you get hit quite often on the drop or right on the bottom. We're in about 40 meters of water here using a 100-gram jig. So the first way I want to show you, as we're getting some inquiries, I guess I'll tell you now, the most important thing about this is when you're getting inquiries, just to wind up and that fish has hooked itself. So don't strike, just keep winding until the fish hooks itself. If you strike, you'll be missing fish all day. So these jigs don't only catch snapper. I think what I've got in here is a kingfish, and they're quite a common bycatch on the Inchiku jigs. We might be here for a little while, but this is also why we use the 20-pound braid and 30-pound leader, so that we can put a little bit of hurt on these bigger fish. So unfortunately we took a little bit too long with that fish, and a nice little marco, as you can see there, is coming and giving him a bit of a chomp. But it just goes to show you, see that he was hooked nicely in the mouth. That would just pop back and usually would release this fish, but he's in a little bit of trouble. Also, the key to these jigs is to make sure that you're over the fish. Keep moving until you find the fish. They haven't got a scent in them. There's no belly to attract them because you're drifting, so you have to make sure that you actually go and find the fish, which is what we've done here. We've come out to some gannet workups, and as you can see, we're catching fish every drop. So there's 3 different species and 3 drops, a nice kahawai, or as you call them, salmon. So that does for today. I hope you enjoyed our educational video on how to use the Ocean Assassin Inchiku Jigs. We had a great few hours out on the Gulf catching plenty of fish. We'd love to see any photos of fish caught in Australia on our Facebook page, facebook.com/fishing essentials. Cheers.